Good morning, everyone. It's June 25th. It's a weekend, Saturday, early morning. Early. Slept in a little bit. And today I need to go ahead and I need to do some work on the tomato plants. I'll go ahead and show you them. As you can see, they've grown a lot since the last video. This one right here is just it's about as high as my neck now. So that means it's pretty much it's almost the height. It's going to eventually stop growing. Because these are determinate, so it's probably going to grow maybe just a little bit more, about way high. I don't expect it to get too much taller at this point. But today what I'm going to do is go ahead and start pruning the bottom leaves. As you can see, we'll go ahead and remove these suckers right here. Now there's a sucker, and I'm also going to go ahead and just remove this entire branch. It's coming off the main stem. Want it to actually focus that energy up top where most of the buds are located and where some of the tomatoes are starting to grow. Over here, it's an even better example. As you can see, there's a lot of leaves down on the ground here, so I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. There's a lot of suckers in there. It's going to trim it from the bottom upwards. I'm also going to go ahead and give it a feeding. I didn't feed it last weekend, I just didn't have the time to do it. Since I'm going to be around the base of the plants, it's a good time to actually go ahead and give it a feeding. What I'm going to use is Job's Organics. That's stuff I've spoken about many times. It's for vegetable and tomatoes. And the sequence is small to big. It's a little hard to see because of the sun, but it's 274. So it's 2 nitrogen, 7 potash, 7 phosphorus, and 4 potash. And I'm going to go ahead and add in this one as well. This is a 4-4-4. So that's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Now during the blossom, you want a higher center number right there. So that's the reason I'm going to go ahead and mix these two, because neither one is, I'm looking for something around the 10 right now. So this one is 7, this one's 4, so I'm going to go ahead and just combine them. And for fruiting, when the fruits are setting and you're waiting for them to ripen, you want a higher third number, which is the potash. Also at that time, I like to give it a calcium supplement. I use a calcium powder that I also have used in the past on crickets. I used to have a bearded dragon, and so I would sprinkle its food with calcium, so when it ate the crickets, I got a supplement of calcium. So I'm going to also add in some calcium to the plants. Once everything is fruited, blossoms have tomatoes on it now, so at that point you want to add calcium. That's going to help make a firmer tomato. That way it doesn't bruise easily. If the tomato falls off the bush for some odd reason, it's not going to be bruised. It'll still be good. And I'm also going to go ahead and add in some more of these supports. As you can see, they are plastic. I end up contacting the manufacturer because of the ones that I initially just didn't do so well. They were very flimsy, so I complained and they sent me a huge box of them. Even though these still kind of suck, the little button here, pull it up too hard, it just cracks, it just breaks. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and got this fancy little tripod. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm talking about for the first time. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with this guy. Alright, so what I'm going to do is kind of get on your hands and knees. I'm just going to cut away these bottom branches like so. anything that's close to the ground, I'm just going to remove it. One suggestion is, if you do think you have diseased plants, what you would want to do is go ahead and rinse your snips off, either with just some rubbing alcohol. You can just dab it and clean off, and sterilize it before you go on to another plant. You don't want to transmit diseases from one to another. That's a good idea. I'm not too concerned because these all look pretty good, so I don't normally clean them. Okay, and snip these all off. Now, not only does this help eliminate the waste of nutrients and water, it's also going to keep the leaves from the bottom, and also once they've all been snipped, you'll tell that there's more air circulation, versus it just getting caught up from one plant. They'll actually be able to flow much better evenly across the bed. And while I'm down here, you also want to go ahead and just start, help it through the cage, give a little guidance. There we go. Alright, this is looking pretty much close to being done. As the plant continues to grow, you're going to have to continue to trim it from the bottom up. I usually go as high as the lowest tomato, so as you can see there's tomatoes right here. Since this is a relatively still young, small plant, I'm not going to go too high up at this time. Now the one in the front that's really big and bushy, you'll see I'll do more of a drastic pruning. For this one is fine, and it's ready for feeding. Okay. Move on to the next tomato. Okay. For this one, I'm just going to snip. Doesn't look like there's too much to go. It needs to come off. And that looks fine. I'll probably just take this guy off. I don't really like the way that one looks. Just a couple spots on it. Take this guy off too. And as you can see why this would promote better air circulation. There's nothing obstructing the wind from being able to flow through. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. I'm going to finish pruning, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to add the fertilizer. I'll do another video, and probably be the first time I actually edit a video, because it's going to be multiple steps. Alright, I'll see you guys around.